It's also a uniform inspiration, but we wanted to create something that was cool and effortless and wearable because it's H&M and H&M is about wearability, but also play with contrast, as you mentioned, the femininity with the masculinity. I mean, fashion loves to play with contrast always. The contrast between something soft and something heavy, like heavier outerwear on top of little delicate dresses or tops or something like that. So loads of different that they kind of merge together into a cool collection that you can wear in so many different ways.
Super cool collection. Johnny, what was your reaction to the collection when you first saw it, and what are some of your favorite pieces?
I mean, when I first saw it, I loved that it was H&M because it... That's God's. I love that it felt, like you said, it was wearable, but it was also elevated. It was like, H&M is so great for those everyday pieces, but also like those little cute dresses. And I love that there was just something for everyone, It felt like, wow, that's H&M, and it showed in Paris with like all the big designers, and it just felt really special. So, I mean, I love those big oversized faux fur jackets, and I love those bomber jackets and the boots. There was just so much fun stuff to play with in there. Yeah, and the blue tuxedo, I love.
Yeah, the tuxedo is great. Kate, you're wearing actually one of my favorite pieces from the collection. How would you describe your personal style, and how does the studio collection fit into that?
I mean, my personal style is sort of always changing, but right now specifically, I'm really into, like I just said on that video, I'm really into the sort of masculine meets feminine look, which there are so many great pieces here that are just like that. And as for this jacket, one of the reasons it's one of my favorite pieces as well is that it can be a dress or it can be something really casual that you wear during the day.
Right.
So you can take it from day into night, which I think is really, really smart and makes it really easy.
Definitely, and it has that menswear feel to it too, so I see it where that kind of comes in. That's great. Ann-Sofie, you chose to show the collection this year alongside major designers during Paris Fashion Week. Why the decision to show the collection there?
I think it's a big challenge to show in Paris during Fashion Week, and we love challenges. And it's one of the big, major fashion cities to get them with New York and London, of course, and Milan. So that is why, really.
Yeah, that's great. Johnny, tell us how you arrived at the New York City as a theme for the window displays.
I mean, we knew it was going to launch New York Fashion Week, and Kate and I are so inspired. We're here all the time. Kate's from here, so we're just inspired by the city, the energy, the vibe that it gives off, and wanted to just kind of display that in the window in the way, like the cityscape in the back, giving it lights, and just like the movement of New York and the life. It's so inspiring. I mean, I live in California, and I have a pool and I drive a car, and it's very laid back.
Right.
So when I come here and I walk the streets, I just love seeing all the different styles walking by, and I get so inspired.
Yeah, me
too. It makes me want to dress up. I dress up more because I'm like, people are going to see what I'm wearing today. So, I just love it.
Yeah. Kate, what was the process for you and Johnny to work together on this? I know you worked together a lot, he styles you a lot, but tell us a little bit about this collaboration, choosing the pieces from the collection, styling them, creating the windows themselves.
I sort of, and this is sort of how we are, and I think our personal lives too, I generally let Johnny take the lead because he's the man. And I don't love to be like in control. Even like, I know what I like and I know what I don't like. I'm very decisive, but I like Johnny to sort of show me the options.
Yeah.
And then I sort of take it from there. And that's really what we did with this collection as well. But it was fun because we have very different style, and a lot of the choices that he loves, that he was really passionate about, aren't things that I would wear, but I know a lot of people who would. So a lot of it is his style, and then a lot of other pieces are mine, and we sort of married the two.
That's so great. That's so great. This is sort of a question to all of you guys. You can answer it how you want. How does pop culture play a role in your decision making? Are you inspired by certain elements of pop culture, or do you sort of look to drive it? I mean, you kind of being the creative design for H&M, you probably look to drive it a little bit, but do you get inspiration?
Absolutely. I think, as a designer, you get inspiration from everything that goes around, kind of. Just looking at people, as you mentioned, that is the biggest way you get inspiration, I think. But of course, we follow pop culture, music, movies. Everything can have an impact in fashion.
Yeah.
I always say that as a designer, you have to be really open-minded and curious and have big ears and big eyes and take it in all in and process it and then, you know, like put it out in a collection.
Put it back out. Yeah. That's great. What about you, Johnny?
I mean, I don't sleep anymore because there's so much coming in. It's like now with social media, I'm up in bed looking on Tumblr and Instagram,
right, you can't
Googling, and just, you know, with fast fashion, it's like there's always new, you know, shipments coming in of new stuff, and, you know, all these designers sending me their new stuff, and it's just like, it's kind of an overload, but I love it. Like, it's always fun to be on the forefront of, like, knowing what the newest and the greatest is, but it's also fun to create the newest and the greatest and, you know, share.
Yeah, that's great. Ann-Sofie, what was your first job in fashion? You came from a small town in Sweden, and now you're head of design at H&M. When and how did you get your big break? I know we have some fashion students in the audience, so I'm sure they're dying to hear this.
My first fashion moment was when I created fashion for my Barbie dolls, actually, and that was quite a long time ago. But then I started to work at H&M in, well, many years back, in one of our stores, and then from that I became a designer assistant, and then, a designer, and now this. So, but the biggest thing was actually when I became a designer, because that was my goal from the beginning, and after working first in store and then as a design assistant, that was kind of a major thing for me, actually.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
That's great. Johnny, how about you? How did you get your start in fashion?
I guess my first experience was on a move. Well, I mean, when I moved to LA from Michigan, I was doing like modeling and commercial acting, and I got a call on my first job from a stylist who said, "Can you bring some clothes to set?" And so I brought a bunch of clothes, and they ended up using my clothes on other people in the commercial as well. So it was like, cool, you know, like a stylist. Like I never even thought about it.
Right.
I always knew I loved fashion. I always wanted to get into like the magazine world and the photography world. But it kind of just happened organically. I just started interning on a movie for 2 months for free, and I had like the best time of my life. And then it just kind of snowballed. I started assisting, I started booking my own gigs, and just meeting, you know, people socially, and before I knew it, here I am, sitting on...
Sort of a natural progression.
Yeah, it really was. It just kind of all happened.
All happened. And Kate, how does fashion impact your acting career and your everyday life? Was it always a passion of yours, or has it started to evolve with your career?
Well, I mean, fashion is such a massive part of, you know, finding your character in any movie or TV show that you do. For me, it's a really big part of, you know, of losing myself in a character, and that's one of my favorite things to do, is to collaborate with the costume designer on whatever project I'm doing, and be really specific about, you know, what my character would wear. I've definitely become more aware of it as I've...
Have you?
Yeah, I wasn't as... I mean, Johnny and I have so much fun looking at different, you know, designers together and seeing shows. So I've become more passionate about it, but I definitely wasn't really aware of it as when I was younger.
Yeah, you're exposed to a lot more of it too, I'm sure, when Johnny next to you. So when you guys are working together on styling a look for Kate on the red carpet, how does that work? Do you, you know, is there an idea behind it? Is it a collection you saw? Do you, again, come up with a theme based on maybe a character you recently played? Like, how does that?
Usually it starts with like what kind of mood I'm in, if I want to feel more ethereal or if I want to be more of a tomboy. It just sort of depends, and then we usually take it from there, and I'll send Johnny some things that I love, and he'll send me pictures of dresses that he loves from different collections, and it's really easy and laid back. We don't take it serious.
Yeah, like I don't show up with like racks and racks of stuff. I have like 5 dresses that we both selected, and we fit our favorite one, and it's actually incredibly easy compared to most of the time.
Well, again, I love the J. Mendel that you wore to Emmys. That was really stunning. So who are your style icons? Let's start, Ann-Sofie, let's start with your style icon.
It varies a little bit, but I think Iris Apfel always had a super nice style. She's really stylish.
Definitely, very stylish. Johnny?
I take inspiration from all, I mean, I grew up in the Midwest. I'm kind of have that like lumberjackness to me, like I love flannel. So I would say like Jake Ryan from 16 Candles meets John F. Kennedy Jr. meets like Charles Dickens. I just like...
That's an interesting collaboration. All right, I like it. Kate, what about you?
I go back and forth between loving really, really feminine things, like, you know, Audrey Hepburn's style was so specific, but I also really love Katharine Hepburn's style. So, yeah, I like people who are really clear about their style. Yeah,
a little more daring sometimes. So that being said, what are your favorite trends for this season? What are the must-have pieces that you guys see right now?
I love the oversized knits. Like anything that's like aggressive, that's a statement. Where someone will stop you on the street and be like, "Oh my God, like tell me about that." I love that. I just love jumbo knits, and I love all the kind of Art Deco graphic prints, like the super colorful pieces.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love the great outerwear. I think there's so many great coats and jackets around, like the fake fur and the shearling and the aviator jackets and the long wool coats. So I think that is one thing.
What about you, Kate?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the bomber jacket. That never gets old to me, and there's a lot of really great ones here, actually.
So, a lot of great outerwear in general. Perfect for New York. Yeah. So what is your best piece of advice for fashion students? Ann-Sofie, let's start.
Be creative, always.
Okay.
Stay creative. Isn't so easy sometimes, but that is what it's all about. I think to think new and brave and trying to push the boundaries with fashion, try to push fashion forward. I think that should be a goal for every fashion student.
Right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I feel like fashion, you've seen so many things come and go again and again and again. It's all about reinventing. And in my job, like I always think outside of the box, outside of that. It's like, what's beyond what you could even think of? Can we make cool with things that shoot out of our, it's like, what can we do that's so out there? And it's like push the limit that hasn't been done. And also just hustle. I mean, there's so many people who want to get into the fashion world and want to style or design. And if you have a passion and if you want to do it, you can do it. I mean, I did it, and I'm from a small town in Michigan. And I never thought that I would, I knew, but I was just like, you really have to just go for it.
Kate, any other advice for fashion students?
I mean, they have a lot more experience in the fashion world than I do, but I would say fearlessness and confidence goes a very long way.
Yeah, definitely. Great, so I think now we are going to take a few questions for the audience. We have some students,